This is Tilak. Welcome back to VBCS tutorial. Today, let's see what we are going to see. Today, what we can do here is like uh, last lesson we see how to create a page using Wizard. Now, we'll go one step ahead. We and that okay when the wizard was creating it is creating a independent pages for every actions like create one page, update one page, delete one page. Now we cut that process and we have a one page we use all the data operation by using only one page. That we have to have a manually we have to do that. We try to do that manually. So for that we have to create a variable. We have to convert the variable into a parameter variable. We have to create actions. We have to call action. We have to call different pages manually. The whole operation, whatever that wizard did that, we are going to do it manually. This is the lesson we are going to do that. Let's see what we can do for that. For that, what I'm going to do there is uh, I'm going to delete all these pages and I'm going to create only one page using wizard for creating it. From there, then we see how we call the edit and delete function manually. That is what we are going to look at that. And now let me do the deletion and creating it the first page. I mean creation part manual using wizard. Then we'll get into that lesson. We have created a manage person page and a CRUD page. Okay, the CRUD page is nothing but it's called CRUD page. So far, it is what it's doing is only creation is doing it. Let's see how it works. This is the page we created. This is a manage page. You have a button here. When you are clicking there, it goes for the creation purpose. Then we can cancel that. Now, let's see. Okay, before we get into all the operations and everything, we see how we can use a image into the button. That's what we can use it. Okay, the image can be uploaded in many places. We have a resources pages even in the flow academy. This is within the flow. We can do here. Okay, I think I already uploaded. I don't want to have it in the flow. I can remove. I leave it like that. But the same thing can be uploaded here also, like images in the application level also. You can do that. For flow level, you can have it as a different one. Images, you can have a different one. You can do that. Just to show you what is that's the reason I'm uploaded something there and something here. I show you how that it works when you are doing it. We are getting to the button property. Button properties here. We'll convert them into icon, and you can define a small size. Then you can have a borderless call to action. All this you can do that. I'll go for solid button. It is. Then when you are coming here, there is a where do you have to attach that image? I'll put it in a starting area. So now when you are attaching it, I can ask you what you want to do that. I'm going to image. I'll go for image. Then I click the image here. Now when you are clicking the image here, what is the width I want it? Normally I choose 530. You can choose whatever you want to have it. Then you go to data. Here you can basically you can upload the image here itself and say that where to go there. Now when you are clicking this part, it tells you where to get the image from, whether you want to get the image from flow or you want to get the image from application. Okay, I'm taking from application, so that this is icon comes, then you can choose here. Then it says here click. Now this is how it looks. Now if I come to here, if I say that instead of icon, if I say here, where is that? Okay, no, I come to the general button icon. If I say here it is all, so I get both. So okay, I'll have it like this here. Like only here I can have it create and this one. This is the same thing. I can do that. Now if I want to have a same thing in that my CRUD page, I have two icon. I can say cancel. What I want to have, I want to have icon. Then I can say here borderless. There's no border. I can do that. Small is fine to me. Start icon. Okay, I'm going for images. using it. Okay, we go to here. My width is, I'm making my width is small. I'm going to data. I'm going to say cancel. Okay, cancel. So it is putting an icon back to that. If you want to have 30, that is also fine. The size is a bit smaller, so I make it 30. This is okay. Okay. So the save also, I will do the same thing. Save. I have icon. I don't need that. Chroming is borderless, so it doesn't look like a well. Okay, just look like a part of the page. I go for a small icon. I'll start with this one. You go for an image. I click the image. I'll have a 30 with this 30. I'll go for a 30. I go to data. I choose my icon. Okay, icon. I'm going here. It is save. Right? Save is okay. That's a save. A floppy. I don't know. Any of you have ever seen the floppy? There should be a much bigger floppy, then there's a smaller floppy, then that CD came into the pictures. Okay, that this is how you do the icon. If you go here, you refresh the page. Okay, this is coming here. Like if you ask me how to upload it, there's a many way. You can right click, you can import the images. Or if you don't want to do that here, also you can drag and drop. Then when you drag and drop, say where to go. So it goes to core and application, you can do that. That is also you can do that. It's not necessary only you can do it here, you can do it when you are working also. It all works fine. Okay. So basically we have done icon. Now what we do when we are going to do this is I don't need this part anymore, so I'm minimizing it. Now I'm going to do a edit part. So from the edit part, I'm going to do a manage person from a manage person. When I'm editing, the first thing happen is I have to I have to have a button. A button can be attached here, or a button can be attached here. Either way is fine. I normally prefer but having a button here rather than here. We'll do both in this page, but next page onwards we'll do only one. Okay, I can have a button here. Okay, I'll add a button here. Add a button here. Okay, the button also I do the same thing. Icon. Uh, the button label is edit. Icon. I put a all here. Small. The class is as called a solid. The chroming is a solid. Then I start icon. I can. Okay. Let me go here. Then width is 30. Data. Here. Image. We go to edit. Do you have something called edit field? Yeah. Edit is nothing but a pencil. Okay, you can have the image here. Okay, this is the edit page. And if you want to add in that this one, what you have to do here is you choose the table, go to the data, and choose an empty column. Create an empty column. Like there's a empty column. Choose empty column. Then go to the column here. Say edit. Okay. Basically, it's a caption edit. So basically, the column is ready. Now, what you can do here is you can button. You can drag and drop a button here. Okay. Now, when you are dragging and dropping a button here, go to the code. Look at the code. How the code looks. Now, what is happening code here is it create a kind of a templates. And the template is basically it says if you go to that, it says the header text edit. That's right. Field is empty because there's no field. It says template is edit. So it calls the template here. The template says basically the slot is edit slot. Then basically says what is that button? What is the type of the template you are using? The button is here. Now we go to the button here and we do the same thing. This icon and it is smaller and we go for a chroming borderless because it's within that table. Then we say start icon. Then we go to the image. We'll make it 20 because within that row, we choose icon. We have a edit icon. Okay, that is also fine. Now, if you go and look at that, okay, we have an edit button here. We have an edit button here. The button looks a little bit bigger, so what I do here is make that very small only. Somehow that it's a bit bigger than that. I don't know. So because of image is also 30 here. I don't know what makes this icon. No, it looks equal. Okay. Uh, well, now what happened? We have icon. We have this one. Before that, we have to make it disable or enable. Like on a certain case, we have to enable it. On a certain case, disable it. How do we enable it? On a set, if you are choosing the variable, if you are choosing a variable, that will be enabled because sorry, you are choosing a row. Without choosing a row, it should be disabled. Now, so what it was that there was a variable. The variable is null or not. That's what it was validating. Now let's see. We create a variable for that. Okay. Now when you are coming here, we are creating a variable. Create a variable called person ID. Okay, variable. Okay. Selected person. Selected person ID. Okay, he's the guy who selected. Okay, that's fine. Create. We have the selected person ID. If the selected person ID is null, it is empty. It is disabled. So now go to this button. Sorry, go to the page designer. We say that disable is selected person equal to null. That is equal to icon. Yeah, button is fine. That is disabled. That must be disabled somewhere here. Okay, we go to all. If it is not there, or we can also say that disable or disable. Disabled. Okay, it is by default false. Then you can do it here. Or you can go here. Actually, you can choose a variable. By this one, you can choose a variable directly. Or you want to write a code, you can go here. I say here selected person ID say equal to null. That is also fine, right? If it is equal to null, it is disabled now. Now, how do we enable it? You have to make it not null. How do we do that? When you are selecting this one, this is a two way you can work out that. By default, it can select it, or the person has to come and select it. That is also we can do that. Okay, how do you want to select? We want to select the row here. That is fine. I'm not worried about that. Selection required. If it is required, the first row will be automatically selected, so it is always not null. Now, what we are going to do here is we are going to do a kind of a selection event. Okay, now what are we going to do here is when a new event, a selected row event. When the selected row event happen, like row data, row key comes into that. Row key is nothing but the primary key of it. So now here I'm going to do an assignment action. So the assignment action allows me to assign a variable to variables, like value to a variable. So here I just choose my row key and it goes. Even I can say row data ID also fine, row data dot ID also. Rows key works. Okay. So make sure this is an expression, not a static. Sometimes in some areas like by default it goes to static. Make sure it's an expression. Okay. Now what happened? Okay. Now I populated the variable. Like I just go back to page. I just choose the row. I created a the first selected row action where I'm assigning a row that this is passed, the value key, even detail value key, even detail value data passed to that by parameter to that. So this will be assigned to that person ID variable. Okay. Now, now how do I go for here? Now let's see. Now if we choose this row, it is enabled. Like now once you enable it cannot be, because like you have to choose some row, you cannot come out of it, choose it is always selected. So the first time only that. To avoid all this valid input, what you can do here is you can go to the table like selection required. If it is happen, what happen? Automatically choose the first row. So if that is the case, what happen? I tell you, I'm coming here, I'm refreshing it. So automatically choose the first row. So you don't have to worry about null or not. Like if it is edited, it goes here. Okay. So now the button is ready and the selection key is ready. Now what happens if you are clicking the button? That's a question here. Now what happens when you are clicking the button? Now that will call action. Okay. Now I'm going to call action on that one button event. I'm creating a new event that is a on Goji action is on a button click. So like button edit action key. Okay, edit action key. Now what it does? Now it is going to call a page. Okay, now let's see what will happen to it. If it is calling a page, there is an action called call a page, navigate. So when you are navigate to here, okay, what is the page you are going to call it? Third person. So basically you are clear when you are clicking the button action, it is calling the action. The action is going to do a, okay, here you have to refresh. Sometimes like that, when you call that, there's a navigation action is, the actions happen, then you are telling the action to do a navigate to the third person, okay, for edit. So you can say that edit call, you can just say that edit call, okay. So okay, now third person is called. Okay, now what happened if it is called? Still it is going to act like a create page. The page is basically set up to perform a create. So let's see how so far this is working here. So when I refresh the page, the row is automatically selected, and that action ID is basically the variable is by default in the first row. Now you can change that. Okay, doesn't make difference. Now when you are clicking the page, it is calling the manage person, and now it is nothing is there because nothing we have done that. So now we'll come back to here. Now we do that. How does the whole thing will be changed into a edit action rather than a create action? Here is we change the page. We go to the third person page. Okay. Now this page has to know that when it is called for edit mode or update mode or a create mode. It has to know that. Okay. If it is coming for update mode, and what person ID it is getting called for. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a variable. I'm going to say is a CRUD mode. CRUD mode. Okay. So basically it is a string variable. I'm creating it. I'm also going to create one more called person ID. Person ID. I'm creating it. Okay. So now I have two variables created. Now these two variable I'm going to call as a parameter. So I can enable it, I can make it required. So CRUD mode I'm going to make it required. Okay. But the problem is the CRUD mode is getting called for creation. So what you can do that you can default it with the C as a mode. Or you can go and set that in that also you can do that. Or you don't have to require it, just enable it. That is fine. No, I'll make it required and I'm telling you the default is C. Then I'm coming here person ID. This is also I'm making as a parameter is enabled. So what happened? Now this page is called, these two parameters can be passed. Okay. Now what I do here is now I go back to the parent page, manage person page. So I have to pass this parameter. Okay, now I'm going to manage page. Now I'm going to the action chain. Okay, now I have navigate to create person action. and button edit actions chain. There are two, am I right? So when I go here, this is basically navigate to person action. Now this is for creation purpose. Okay, this is for basically I can put as a create navigation for creating it. Am I right? Create navigation. Navigation. You can say that. So for the create navigation, like if you are looking for this, so yeah, create navigation, the page is here. Now you can this is I think I can map this up to see is default, but still I'm doing it. See here, but a person nothing is passed here. So the reason is person ID is not there. Like no, this is even is not mandatory. Let me check back, go back to third person ID. Let me check whether it's required or not. I thought I made it required. It's required, but that is the case. It's supposed to say that kind of a star here. I don't know. Okay. So basically it is mapped, it is C. Now I'm going to that other actions chain, button edit actions chain, and telling it edit navigation. Am I right? Okay. Navigation. So button edit action, or you can say like you can call that as a like the same way I can say that like edit navigation. That is also fine. You can have same name. That's fine. Okay, navigate to person for edit. Okay. Navigate to person. This is says button edit action chain, that is fine. This is here. This is calling it. Okay. Now this has to be mapped. You can pass a different variable. Now you can say that it is update static. Then is fine. And person ID, I'm passing this person ID. I have selected person ID as a variable. Okay, I'm passing it. He is the guy who selected for the edit purpose. So he's calling it. Okay. This can be passed to two ways. Either I can take a variable or I can define a variable in this level. Then I can when the button is clicked, the variable is passed and this variable can be assigned to that. That is either way is fine because you choose which is right to you. Okay. Either way it works the same way. Okay. Now this is ready. So now that the managed person is ready, it is going here. Now how do I know the value is coming or not? Okay, now I'll tell you how to check that value is coming or not. I'm going to create an action or I'm going to create an even listener that is says when the page is entered, like before enter or BB enter. This is says when the page is entered. Okay, I'm going to create a page level actions. Okay, on enter page action. Okay, enter page action. So this is the action. I will do that. Okay, in enter. Okay, that is fine. I will change it. Okay, for the action. Okay, I make it on enter rather than in enter. On enter page. Okay, now that this action is fired whenever you are getting into the red version. Now I'm going to do a fire notification event. Okay, earlier we did a variable assignment and also we did the navigations. Now is a fire event. Okay. Now when the fire notification event, this is a refresh problem is here that the icon should come because it already came here. I don't care. Okay. Now here there's a two places you can put a variable. Okay. Now I'm going to put a variable, first variable here. So I'm going to say red mode. Save. I'm also going to say here assignment ID. Person ID, sorry. Person ID. Now this is what you want to persist. Persistent basically like now that it is remain there. I'm going to say transient. Is the error? No, it is just an information. Okay, you can choose the different options here. Now this is done. Now what happened if I am refreshing the page? I'm calling that I try to call it in a person the create mode as well as the edit mode. See what happened. Okay. Now I'm creating this one. It says C. Okay, basically it is called with C, there's no person ID is passed in. Okay, now let me go back to that. Now let me edit what happened. Say it is called in U and the person ID is 1. Now I have a person ID, I have a mode. Now what I have to do here is whenever that this is called, okay, whenever this is called, now I have to upload the data whenever is a edit mode. Okay, if it is a create mode, don't do anything, or you can kind of refresh the page, you can do that. Now how do I do that? Now there is a if condition is there. Okay, now you can say that create. Okay, so how do I do that? I can go here. I can say that if the thread mode is C, if the thread mode is C, so it is a create mode. So if what you do that, okay. Now we know that from our previous lesson, like there's a variable whenever there's a create mode comes that it is using the create person chain. Sorry. This is create a the variable called person. That is what is using it. Okay. Okay. Now this is the variable has to be initialized when you are coming in, and so what I can do here is okay, whenever you are coming into the page, I go to the action. Okay, create mode, just I'm refreshing the variable. Here I am assigning the variable. Okay, I'm getting the value and putting into the loading the variable, or like say populating the variable. Now for this one, or I can leave it here, there's no problem. Okay, there's nothing you have to do when you are creating it. Now the else part I call a rest service. Call a rest. The rest is basically going to get me the data of the person. Okay, get person data for non-creation. Am I right? You can say edit everything is coming to the same picture. Okay, now what is the endpoint I'm going to create that? I have a business object. I have a person. I'm getting only one person. So it is not this one, this get all the data, I'm going to get only one person. So I'm selecting a person. So this is going to get me the data. Okay, if the data is success, if it is fail, that is fine. Okay, now what is happening here? It is telling what person you are going to get. Is a required parameter. So already I have an assignment. This is that already I have it. So I'm going to put it here. Yeah, this is passed when you are entering into the page. This person ID is passed from the manage page whenever you are in edit. So that is passed. So this is coming in. This is coming here. So basically that this is fired for only one person. This is fired for only one person. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to populate the data. How do I populate the data? I have to assign the variable because this is going to fetch me a data. That's the result of this one. That is I'm going to populate into the variable. Okay, populate the data. So load data to person data, load person data. Am I right? Person data. You can say load whichever way populate anything. That's fine. Okay. Now the read after result. This is from the previous action. That's a result. That's on interpage action. There is a result is the what is the result of call rest person action. Result is the body is here. Okay. Now this is a person. So what I'm going to do here, the body is only one data is coming here. I can take the body of the previous rest service result that is fetching only one person. I can populate here. So this automatically populate the person variable. Okay. Now I'm done here. Well, data is populated. Am I right? There's nothing else. So what happened? If it is create, you are not doing anything. When you are coming to non-create, sorry, there is a okay. If it is a non-create, basically you are coming here and you are populating the data. No, this point. Now let's see, we'll run it. Okay. I'm going back here. I'm up like now refreshing the page. See, the data is loaded. Michael, this is loaded. Okay. Now in the next session, I don't want to make a bigger sessions. And next session, I say that how do we manipulate this part then basically now this button basically working for creation. Now I tell you how to you call a different button when you are updating it. Okay, okay. And if you have any question, if you have any suggestion, or if you know better way of doing it, please let me know. Okay, thank you. Bye.